Hi guys, whoever may be out there watching. Sorry, it feels like it's been a while. As you can see here, I figure I would do a video on this MP-52 Starscream, which I've been waiting on for a while now. It seems like a lot of folks have gotten theirs in a couple of months ago, or at least I want to say 2 months ago, maybe. But I ordered mine through BBTS, and the thing just kept getting pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. I think it was July, then August, and finally September came around. So I had to wait a bit to get this in. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I do have the previous masterpiece that came out, and as soon as I saw this one, I was like, I have to get it. I also do have the other Seekers on pre-order that came out, the masterpiece ones that have been announced, so Thundercracker and Skywarp. So I will be getting those as well. But for now, I figure let's go ahead and get started with this one. Maybe go through a transformation, which is very involved, and also then do some size comparisons with some of figures that I have here on my desk handy. But first, as I said, I got this through BBTS. This thing usually comes in these boxes now. At least the couple of recent MP masterpiece figures I've gotten come with these black wraparound box. But enough of that. And then the actual box itself is your standard masterpiece box, which is again really nice. I do keep these just in case I ever want to resell them. I'd have the box and everything with them. But it's all in Japanese and everything. But very G1-esque packaging in there. You could see in the back the packaging, the different poses and the different accessories that it comes with. But overall, really nice. So I figured we could get started in, as you can see there, I have them in airplane mode. And what I will do is maybe bring this in closer. The main thing I noticed from the airplane mode in this one versus the old one is, I guess because of the transformation, he is a lot more panely in the back. But I mean, it doesn't bother me too much, which is something to note. I think the airplane mode, again, very G1-esque. So to me, this is a welcome sight. Again, I'm a huge one of G1. So I think they did a really great job just, getting all the colors right, the gray, the blue, the red. Um, Again, really nice figure. So I'll just turn around there for you guys. Um, and I do have it on this stand, which you do get with the figure. This is actually two pieces, this piece and this piece that you put together. And then this rail piece, you kind of just stack on top. It slots into place actually. I do like that they included the stand. I believe this was a stand that they've included with other masterpiece figures in the past. I do have some nitpicks with it, and I can show you right now. And I guess the main thing is that, um, the base peg itself down here, it's just really held on, you know, whatever you place it in these grooves, which it's not such a bad deal, right? It kind of just sits there together. But the one thing is this joint here. I wish it would have been ratcheted because right now, I mean, it's holding its place, but if I, let's say, wanted to angle him up, he's just gonna, there's really nothing there holding this in place. So I think if you wanted to put this in plane mode, this stand's not really gonna hold them in many posters just because of the weight. As you guys can see, it's kind of just falling. It does go, like I said, it goes back, and same thing. You can go forward, but it holds it in place there, which I guess is not too bad if you wanted to display it like that. I guess if it's any shots where he's sort of pointing up, you might have an issue. It does tilt slightly this way, which again, there's no ratchet there, so it's whatever the weight takes it. That's the way it will go. Um, I don't mind it too much because I'm not planning on displaying this that much in airplane mode. For me, it'll be mainly in robot mode, and I may transform it every once in a while. But Again, just something to note if the stand is something I'm looking forward to. I really wish I would have added some kind of ratchet there. The other thing is, and I can show you the underside here, which my understanding is that this underside, as busy as it looks, is actually very much cartoon accurate. So again, don't mind that too much. This plastic piece that you use to put on the stand, it's so hard to sort of get out once you have it in place. At least mine is anyway. You really have to force this out, and it kind of, I guess, makes me a bit scared that I may take some paint off. But it hasn't so far. I've taken it in and out, but usually what I do is, as I'm transforming it, I push this out from the back. So we'll go through that. So I'll have to warn you, the transformation is pretty involved. There's a lot of folding panels and pieces that go attached to each other, but I think once you get to the robot mode, it's so worth it. It's so nice. So usually, I have read the instructions. I'll let you know already in advance. Those instructions are just, at least to me, they were not that useful, and I'll actually get them right now for you guys. So the instructions are, I really wish it would start making these in color. I don't, at least the ones that I have, I've always been in black and white for the instructions anyway. But if you've gotten Masterpiece figures before, you're familiar with these, and it kind of goes through the accessories. But the actual transformation steps are all in black and white, and I know they give you those bolded steps, but this guy, and I don't know if you guys could see it, it's like a twofold. And granted, I've gotten instructions for these figures before that are just as big, but I just really wish they do a better job of presenting the transformation instructions. In all honesty, I would probably refer you to watching other YouTube videos if you're planning on transforming this. I think the instructions are probably just a good high level review of it, but I would really, maybe it's a lot easier just watching a video. I would probably even recommend MGO. I think he has a good video on transforming this guy. So yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the jet mode, and I figure we could move to the main thing for me anyway is the robot mode. But the jet mode, really no qualms on my end other than the panelly aspect of it, but on the top part. But I think that's just part of the transformation, right? No big deal there. But usually what I do is I take I usually pop these off, the null rays, I guess. I should call them, and I kind of just take them out. You can take them, they're pegged in here, and you could just pull them out. As you can see there, they came out. And these also do transform, but I'll put them aside for now. And you can transform this guy with with these on. I just think because of the panelly nature of this guy and the many things you have to move and fold, it's just a lot better to get things out of the way. So yeah, then from there, the next thing that usually I do is I just unpeg, start with the wings. They are pegged in here. I don't know if you could see, there's a section, there's a peg there. But usually I just kind of lift these up slightly. Same thing here. And you'll start to see that yep, there you go. So once I take that off, what I do is pretty much concentrate on the legs. So I kind of just ratchet them down. One thing to note is, as far as from what I see in the instructions, it does have what they call a Gerwalk mode, which I will not go through. That's pretty much, at least from what I know, a robotic thing. I guess it's one of those things you could do if you want to, but there is that option. And I actually think they made certain parts of the transformation specific just for that mode. So my assumption is it must be a thing that folks are kind of like, right? But anyway, here we go. And this is, I think, starting right away, one of the things that I like versus the older toy is these panels here in the legs for the transformation. So Just make sure, again, there's like all these tabs everywhere, right? You have to make sure you're careful not to pull things so that you don't break them. Just undo that, and then you can rotate this up. And then once you do it, as you could see there, you could see the foot and everything. But you can then take this down. One thing that I didn't do at the very beginning, or at least the very first time I got this guy and I was transforming him, is I didn't clip these the feet into here, so they were very loose. So that's one thing just to note, that make sure that when you're doing this, that you hear a click. These also get pushed in for the transformation, so you could just boom, push them in. The other thing that you could do is, just to give yourself some room, is separate these legs, right? So they're held in by a tab here, and you kind of just pull away, and you could see them there, right? The next thing is you could pull this out. This is part of the leg, and usually what I do here is I start bending, if you guys could see this, and once I do that, I pull the leg out slightly, and you will see there that, I don't know if you could see it, there's like a little catch that prevents it from going farther. So just make sure you don't go too much with pulling this out. But once it's in there, it's in place. Pull this up, and the next thing is this thing here with the wing. And essentially, you're going to rotate this way, rotate this that way, and then again, if you guys could see here, there's this panel for this one wing, and let's see if I can show you guys. I need some space. So essentially, you just kind of pushing this down, and you kind of just rotate it so that it's in place. Let me see if I can show you guys better. So once you have this popped out, make sure you rotate it this way, right? And then essentially this wing's gonna sit in here. So just make sure that you're actually lining this up, right? You want to line up the wing so that when it goes in there, there's no interference. And again, just make sure that this little tab here, don't just push it in like that. You might break that tab. But once it's in there, you can boom, get that in. The other thing that I also forgot the very first time I was playing with this guy was these knee pads, and you kind of just push them up as much as you can, as far as they will go. Don't pull on it too hard. But there you go. I forgot to do that the first time I transformed this guy, and I kind of noticed it later on. So there you go. That's one foot. The other foot's pretty much the same, and we'll kind of go through it right now. Essentially, same as before. Just make sure you're careful with these tabs here. Make sure you, before you start pulling on anything, you kind of lift the back part, and then you can raise this. Same thing here. You pull this out, and again, make sure that you slot this into that section of the foot. Otherwise, these are going to be really loose. And that's that. And that needs to be pushed in. The next thing is pull this section here out. And again, same thing as I did before. You're going to slightly bend the leg. That'll loosen it. And you kind of just pull out. And again, I don't know if you guys could see that there is a catch there on the inside of the leg. So that way, don't pull too far. And same thing here. You can probably see it better here. You kind of just, you're kind of taking this, lifting this out of place. And I always forget which way, so it's always this way. Once you have that turned around, then essentially here, again, same as the other leg, you are going to make sure this is out of the way and turn this. Sorry guys, just making sure I'm not breaking this. Okay, there we go. And once it's in, you kind of just pop that in. So Again, same thing, make sure you line this up correctly and just fold that in. And again, just make sure you kind of lift this slightly so you could tap that in with no problems. And oh, that's the one thing I miss here is this thing. Make sure you slide this all the way forward, right? So you don't have any issues. It's gonna go in there. And again, yep, there we are. And like I said, for the other leg, like as you can see the knees there, right? This is what it looks like fully up. This is what it looks like when it's down. So make sure that you pull this up. And there are his legs. I do have one complaint about his ankles. And I'll show you in robot mode. They seem, even if you do snap them in fully in here, they seem a tad loose. So you do have to kind of play with them a bit. The next thing then would be the wings and sort of like the chest and the arms, etc. So usually what I do is this part just kind of lifts up. And this is the step where I take out this stand. I kind of just push it out from the inside to help, rather than pulling from the outside. I'd rather not break anything, and then that kind of loosens this clear plastic part that goes with the stand. So we'll put that aside. Once you have this done, before you mess with anything else, I would do really these wings, and these do just rotate. As you can see, there is a little, I don't know if you can barely see, there's a little nub there that this goes into. It's like a little catch, and then it's like that. So same thing here on this wing, you kind of do the same thing and it catches. You have to bear with me because the wing part is probably the most involved part of it, so it may take me sort of like a bit to get this sorted out. So the next thing that we could do is then there's a part here. I don't know if you guys could see it. This whole section here is attached to this cockpit. Kind of just pull it out, and then you guys could see there his head. This part here, you could put it in place. So essentially it's on a hinge here. And in plane mode, it's all the way forward. You kind of just slide it back, and then it bends like an accordion. And make sure that there's again tabs for this to go there. And then that kind of just sits there for now. It will go tabbed in eventually once we're done with the transformation. The other thing that we could do, I guess, at this point would be the arms. And let's see if I can do this, get this essentially right. Do that, and then this portion here where the null rays are at, you are going to essentially they were like this, right? So you're going to turn them this way, and then they're on a hinge there. So that's it. And then these kind of just go in there. And then once you put this here, then you can just then put that aside. For the sake of the transformation, pull this way to give you a bit more room when you're messing with the wings. So same thing here. This was like this for the airplane transformation. You're gonna turn this way so it lines up with the arm, and then this right here, you're gonna bend forward, and it kind of slots in there. You'll see there's a place for it, and then once that's done, it kind of goes in there, and that's pretty much one arm, right? And there is a hinge here. It's pretty strong, so I would just be careful with pulling on anything. And does that. That's the way I do it. Obviously, the instructions do tell you to do it a different way, so you may want to follow those. You just got to be really careful. There is some clearance stuff that you can move things around, like these can move out slightly, but just be really careful. So once you have that done, essentially the next thing to do is the wings. So the wings here, you can fold here. I'll start with the right wing, and you fold this in like that, and then same thing here, fold that in, and you kind of just fold this in like that. The other thing to do that you could do now, because you did this prior step, and sorry, he looks a bit of a mess right now, right? We'll start here. I really like this space here. These wings actually open up, so you can just open them here, and as you guys can see, and essentially you fold this part of the wing in. You fold, this is a double hinge, so make sure you fold this all the way, and then from there this part here is also right. So I wouldn't bend it down yet. What you could do is push this way, and then turn the whole wing around, and then that kind of just rests there, and then you will see that there is this tab here that goes in, these slotted in there to hold the wing in place. And that's it. That's pretty much one wing completely done. And then just the other thing that you need to do next is this these sections here. They're usually like this. Make sure you turn them this way. You're gonna do the same thing, right? And then the same thing here. Open up the wing here. I usually just grab it by here, pull it out, turn this on a double hinge all the way, bend this, and then just turn the wing this way, so that you're gonna fold all this way, and then the wing just kind of rests in there. And then when you fold this in, same thing as before, you're gonna make sure that it tabs into that second tab, right? And then you're kind of done. Just fold this in this way, and again, same thing with this section right here. It's like this. You're gonna do that. And now, let me see if I can. You see both sections look very similar there. And then the next thing, like this. These wings do slide back and forth, but for the transformation, at least per the instructions and the videos that I've seen, this stays extended. This thing of sliding back and forth, I believe, was specifically done for the Gerwag mode, and both sides could do it. Again, I just usually leave them like this. So once you have these whole wing business done, there's a whole part of folding it. But before we do any of that, we are then going to move to this whole cockpit section and the head, etc. So leave these up. What we do need to do is we need some room now to get these things out. So the head has these things that you can grab him by. It's also to give him room to slide under here. And just pull the head slightly up to give yourself some room. And just make sure for this step that that you're holding this as straight as possible like that, because what we need to do is there's panels here where you pull one out. That's one. But the reason why you need to hold it straight is because then there's another panel here that needs to clear this section here. So I very slightly lift, and then that covers up his side. And then same thing here, you're gonna lift up this panel And again, same thing, slightly lift, and then it's in place. You guys can see there. So once the head is in place, sorry, once the side panels are in place here in the torso, you can kind of put his head back into place, like lower it. The next thing to do while you're here, just you can turn this around, and we'll go through that once we get through this part. But so essentially now the next part is the cockpit here. So you could just slightly move the wings out of place and then just move that here. So again, like the legs, this is a step that has a lot of folding parts and a lot of cool things happening. So the main thing is to undo the cone here, the nose. So this is going to, and you can see the tab here. You're gonna take this and turn it and make sure it's bent in, sorry. And once you bend that, you can turn this. I wouldn't turn, you need to turn this, and I wouldn't turn it via the cone. I would just use this section here. So essentially you need to turn this way, and then that allows this to be folded like that. I wouldn't try and turn this just with this cone section, because I think you would over repeated use. I don't think right away you're going to weaken this part. So I would make sure that you always turn it by here. Then the next thing to do is this section here is going to come off apart, and you can kind of see the lines there. And this is where we may run into some issues with room and being able to get the right shot, but you can probably move these wings out to see if I can get some room there. So the next thing to do is essentially separate this. So you can pull that up, and then you kind of just turn that. The next thing to do is move this, fold this seat, and these side sections here, you're gonna pull these to the side. So one, and then same thing here, two. Once that is done, and make sure this is like that, this also bends. You need to bend this. So essentially, while it's out, you're gonna turn this way, and once you've turned this almost 90 degrees, then you could pull it back down, and that's pretty much the whole torso. It's pretty involved, I must say, but it's I guess an ingenious way, at least from my opinion, of hiding this whole cockpit thing. So once you pretty much have that in play, the next thing is to just make sure that you the head's like sticking out, so you could push it out this way, and it's kind of there, right? And then this is where there's this whole connection here. There is a tab here, and there is a hole here, and essentially you're just going to connect the two, like snap it into place. And then this section here, and remember before I turned it, so you kind of just bend down like that, and that's it. That's pretty much it for the back. And then the wings, and as you guys can see, we are almost there. God, I didn't realize this video would take that long. There's a lot of tabbing to be done. So this tab here goes in here, then there's another tab in here that goes in here. This is where I start seeing some complaints, at least for me. This tab's in place fine, but once I get to tabbing in this gray section into that part, it feels like I have to force it in with much more force than I would like to. And I want to see if I can. So I'll show you. Let me show you this side actually, because this side pretty much goes in with very minor issues. So that goes in, and then this gray section goes in there, and you guys see that went right in. This section here is just, I feel like I'm gonna end up breaking it, but you just have to, there you go, just align it. Just make sure you align it correctly, and you guys could see the back there. Right. And these sections go like that. Just make sure if you get any lifting here, like you see that part, this part needs to go, it goes down like that. Make sure it sits like that. The next thing to do is we could do the hands. You guys could see we are almost there. And the hands just have a little cover here, and you kind of just flip that. Oh, let me get this. You flip that, and then you kind of just close it back up. And then you kind of just fix. These holes here are for the null arrays, so make sure those are out. And you kind of just turn the hand. Same thing here. You're going to pull this part out, and this gets pulled up that way, and then you can pull the hand out, and then same thing here. And the one thing you need to do is, because these hinges go in here, these you pull out specifically for the transformation to give you more room, but once you're done, you can it's very stiff, so just be very careful, right? Once those are in place, then you can fix the arms. You fix his head. Almost there. And then the last thing, well, semi-last thing to do is these intakes. So you will see that these are also on a hinge. So you're going to lift them. And then, I don't know if you could see, but there's a slot there where this peg, this section here, needs to go. So you're going to make sure that you kind of push the wings in slightly to get that into place. Right, so that's the thing that you need to get in there. And then once, usually I do that first, and I kind of just push down, which probably, yeah, I took it out. So again, just you'll have to play around with this, but just, right. And then once that's in, just slightly pull these forward. Same thing here. You're gonna pull this up. And again, same thing. You're gonna just make sure that attaches in there. Pull that slightly forward, and you may need to, again, push this in. But there you go. And I mean, you can sit them any way you want, but the instructions say to push them slightly forward. And there he is, Starscream. I know he's missing his null rays, so we'll do those right now. These transform, and again, for the robot mode, you're going to go like that, and this section here kind of just comes out. So if you can get a fingernail in there, open this and then turn this, so they go from missile to null ray. Same thing. And then you are going to put this, it can go on either hand, I think, just because of the design. Sorry, let me show you guys. Yep. So you're going to put that in there. And there he is. He's coming together. Same thing with this one. So again, open this. You can turn that around. Now he's got his null race, and this goes in like that. Make sure you close that. And same thing here. You will. All right, guys, so there he is. There is Starscream. And for me, this is a highlight. I think this is just so. Let me fix his head. This is just so G1. It's ridiculous. I have him with that happy face. You do get a couple of other faces that you can add, and I really like this thing. It cleans up really well. I mean, the transformation is very involved. He does have a bit of a backpack, but again, this cleans up so well. They hide the wings and everything. I think it looks really nice. I think in comparison to the prior Masterpiece one, this just looks so much better. The other ones, it's a really good toy, but just this thing it's awesome. The one complaint on my end from the robot mode is these ankles can sometimes be a bit loose, so he can tend sometimes to lean forward, or if you put him, let's say you want to lean him back, the ankles really can't hold the weight too well. You can sort of fix that. I have it so that if you move the legs back, one, you shouldn't have any issues. You can pretty much pose him in any way. And again, he's very poseable. The hands, the arms, the shoulders, sort of move up and down. The head, there is a lot of range here, actually. You can turn that, but obviously I don't think you would use that much range. But it's there if you want to do it. Again, ratcheted elbows. The thing that I like also is these hands, each of the fingers are also articulated and separately this time, because usually you see like these last three fingers all together and then this one, to do a point, but each of those fingers can do their own thing, as you could see there. And yeah, but again, what else? Oh, the legs. These things can open so that you can go up. He has a knee articulation there. He can also go this way if you wanted him to. But you could really, I think in comparison to the prior Masterpiece, you can really, if you wanted to pose this guy really well, there's some ankle rotation here. You can move this slightly back as well here to give you some room. Yeah, but I think he's very poseable. Again, my only issue being the ankles, which you just really have to place him. But again, no big issue in my end. I think I've been waiting for this thing so much that I think I really like it. Things that he can do right here, he can open these panels, shoot some missiles from there. The other things is I can show you guys the accessories that he comes with real quick, and you guys could see there. Yeah. So I guess I should have shown these off in the jet mode, but these you can put in jet mode on the jet engines. They kind of go in there, right? You could push it. You'd have to pull these out and sort of slot them in. So that's something you can do in airplane mode. The other things, the fire effects that he comes with, he gets this one, this fire one, and I guess this laser one, which you can attach to the and then you can make him shoot stuff there, and these can also attach here, so be careful with that, and he can be shooting everywhere. The other thing that he comes with is he gets all these additional, like, this is I think from one episode where he found, I think this is one with rust, I want to say, where they all start getting rusty because of this one thing that hit, I think, Megatron, and he takes it out of his body with this. In the box is called a magic hand. uh, I don't know why, but I guess that's what it's called. Let me take these out. And essentially, uh, you're pretty much just kind of attaching this in here. Let me see if I can get this sorted out. Yeah, but you attach this in here. Yep, there we go. And there you go. And then he can have, the hand like that. That's something you could do if you wanted to. You can get that. He also gets, similarly, drill hand from that one episode. Kind of looks like a nail. He does get this Megatron, which is really cool, already in his gun mode, and you can attach also the different effects to this, right? So you could attach that if you wanted to. You could attach this if you wanted to. But a lot of good detail on the gun there. And he can hold it in place. Can move this out, pull this out. Take this guy out. Put all this stuff aside. I'm really happy with this thing. I think this is again a worthwhile addition for me. I've been waiting this thing for a while. Not sure what took BBTS so long, but now that I finally have it, I am extremely happy with it. And the last thing I want to do before I start showing you all the different hands. I guess you can he can hold Megatron, he can shoot. So we'll put him aside for that. And then, like I said, he also comes with 5 different faces, 6 if you include the one he currently has on. I already have I guess what's called a smiling happy face. He does come with his neutral face. That's the one he comes in with. You get I guess this is what I call his O face. Let's see if I can. There we go. You guys can see it there. I guess this is his Ooh Megatron face. This smirking face, laughing. I guess more like a slight smile. This is one where he's screaming. I guess he's saying, "Ow, my foot," like in that time in the movie. And here's the Starscream we know, right? Smirking, like always. And the face, you could technically just pull out, at least per the instructions. You kind of just pull it out, like I just did. And there is a section in there that holds it in place. Yep, and there you go. Now he is just smirking. He is not laughing anymore. So again, I think that's one thing you can do. But overall, with this figure, I am extremely happy with it. Again, I'm really looking forward now to getting Skywarp and Thundercracker, because I've never actually had the Masterpiece Seekers. I do have all the cone heads, but it's a prior mold, and I hope they do remake those. But I have, other than the issue that I have with the ankles being a bit loose, no other issues on my end anyway. This guy is very poseable. He looks just like he did in a cartoon for the most part. I like the way they sort of worked, all the wings and everything so that it gets compacted. And I think the back looks really, really nice in comparison to the other masterpiece, the previous masterpiece toy. Not that that's a bad toy. I liked it, but this one's just so much better. I really, really like this one. Um, yeah, but there's Starscream, and then the thing we could do, since we already ran pretty long on time, is we could do, I guess, some sort of size comparison to some folks that I have here. And the first one I have here is with Megatron here, and he is in a pose, and you guys can see them both together. Obviously, Megatron is much, much taller. I have him in this pose where he's like sort of ducking down, I guess, and shooting. But they fit really well together again, really nice. So we'll put Megatron aside. Next thing we have Masterpiece Shockwave. And again, there you go. There's the two guys together. Again, really well fit together there. So we'll put Shockwave aside. Then we have Masterpiece Soundwave, which I really do like this toy a lot. I really do think that maybe they could remake it, but he seems maybe too tall now. But I don't know. That may be his right height. But again, I really like this toy. I think they both fit in sort of pretty well there. So we'll put Soundwave aside. The other one that I have is this, and you guys can correct me. This is not Ramjet. Maybe Thrust or Dirge. I lose my name sometimes, but this is the old mold, at least the most recent mold prior to this one. I got Dirge, Thrust, and Ramjet on sale, so I ended up buying all three. I wasn't planning on getting these, but they were all three of them on sale. But a while back, I really hope they redo these guys similarly to how they redid Starscream and how they're redoing Skywarp and Thundercracker. It's not a bad figure, but it's very, as you guys can see, very loose there. But I do want to show that guy with so you guys can see them together. The next thing is we'll do, let's do the actual prior masterpiece toy, and you guys could see them both sitting there. And this is not a bad looking toy by any means, but this one just kind of, at least to me, if you're looking for G1, just kind of blows this one out of the water. Again, this is not a bad toy. I still like this toy. I'll probably keep him in airplane mode now that I have this one. But just things like, the legs. I guess I would say this is more toy accurate rather than cartoon accurate. But, you guys could see there, the legs just clean up so well. The other part too on the newer version is, as you guys can see, the back. Just the fact that the cone's just sitting right there, whereas here is hidden in the chest. And you guys can see the wing flaps here just kind of hanging out there, whereas here they're hidden. So I think this one, again, really, really good job cleaning up really well. Also, the gray on the new one is just so much more faithful. The head as well. It's this guy, again, not a bad toy, but just this one just kind of, at least to me, exceeded all my expectations. As far as what a Seeker toy, masterpiece toy, should be. But again, this one's a really nice toy. The next thing, I had a random Ninja Turtle just sitting around here. There you go, Ninja Turtle. which I got as a gift a while back from my parents. Um, Next thing I had Masterpiece Bumblebee, the newer one. So you guys could see them standing there together. The next thing, oh, I did a review on this guy. Here's Hamaru from Samurai Showdown, Storm Collectibles. Don't know why. And then going back to the Transformers theme, I figure we could do all the Transformers, all the Starscream figures that I have. So I've already shown you this guy here. I have this, I guess this was a Generations toy. This is my first Transformers toy that I've had. I do have a really old one that was a reissue back from the 80s, but it's in storage somewhere. But again, just kind of cracks me up seeing the little guy there. The next one that I have is this. This is the Siege Tetrajet version that you guys could see there. I will say, so this toy does have an ab crunch. It's a bit limited because of the transformation, but he can do ab crunch. He has no waist swivel. And as far as I know, this is one of the few, this guy, the Siege version, that has a waist swivel. And granted, I know it's a whole different mode, but this guy does have waist swivel, which is pretty cool. So that, and then the Siege, Earthrise, not Siege, Earthrise Starscream. So you could see them all there together, the whole Starscream family. And I also do have the Coronation Starscream on order. And I know, granted, I know the Coronation Starscream is pretty much this toy with a cape and a throne. Almost reminds me of that Simpsons episode where, they won the doll and all it's got is a new hat. That's where we're at, folks. But just want to put all these guys there for comparison. But we'll put them aside for now. But overall, this MP-52, if you could swing it, I know these things have been getting more and more expensive. If you're a fan of G1, just a fan of Transformers, for me, this is a definite get. The looks just bang on. At this is pretty much cartoon brought to plastic. It does have a bit of weight, which I like. My only issue, again, like I said, is these ankle parts. But once you get him posed in the right poses, he can hold them in place. But other than that, great job by Takara Tomy and Hasbro, whoever's making these now. Really great job putting this together. And I know this cockpit is fake, but in all honesty, it doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, I think I've gone on long enough. I think this video is pretty close to an hour. If you hung in there, this is a definite get. Hopefully you can get your hands on one. But overall, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. Please take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. And thank you for watching.